It's officially been more than a year that Antihero is stuck in my head. And it only recently occurred to me, it's much more than a relatable pop song, it is a postmodernist anthem of our contemporary world. Antihero is a perfect reflection of the late capitalism anxiety and paranoia. That's why it's so inescapably sticky. Postmodernism is a late 20th century style and concept in the arts, architecture, and criticism, which represents a departure from modernism. Its nihilism was a response to the internalized paranoia, anxiety, and disillusionment felt generally in society during the 1960s. As opposed to modernism that believed in the inevitable progress of society, 60s youth saw that despite the ending of global wars the world wasn't becoming better. A modernist grand narrative needed a hero, a main character with moral predominance and high values, and their counterpart, the villain. Postmodernism, on the other hand, which doesn't recognize good and bad, replaced a hero with a different, more complex type of protagonist, antihero. An antihero or antiheroine is a main character in a story who may lack conventional heroic qualities and attributes, such as idealism, courage, and morality. Although antiheroes may sometimes perform actions that most of the audience considers morally correct, their reasons for doing so may not align with the audience's morality. An antihero typically exhibits one of the dark triad personality traits, which include narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism, the qualities that indeed make them hard to root for, but easy to relate to. We'll be speaking about our very real superstar antihero, Taylor Swift. Swift previously called the track one of my favorite songs I've ever written, as she's never delved this far into my insecurities in this detail before. I get older but just never wiser, is an opening line, underlining that age doesn't necessarily bring wisdom, a statement that oddly sounds like postmodernism critique against modernism that the future doesn't automatically translate into progress. Despite enormous success, Taylor appears to be one of us, trusting wrong people, struggling with self-image, still indecisive of who she is as a person. She is openly afraid of being abandoned, though she understands that's what her underhand nature will inevitably cause. One day I'll watch as you're leaving. 'Cause you got tired of my scheming. Our anti-heroine admits she was scheming like a criminal to achieve her ends, such as gaining friends or keeping the lover, in other songs as well, Mastermind, for example. I'm only cryptic and Machiavellian 'cause I care, she adds right there, justifying her actions by her sensitivity and bigger cause. Classical antihero, isn't she? Remember the dark triad? On Antihero she admits her second such problematic trait. Did you hear my covert narcissism I disguise as altruism like some kind of congressman? In the 2020 documentary, Taylor speaks about her obsession of being perceived as a good person. In 2022 she admits it's just her covert narcissism. Narcissism is a personality disorder in which a person develops an excessive feeling of self-worth and believes themselves to be superior to others. At the other end of the spectrum, altruism is the belief in or practice of selfless concern for the well-being of others. So she admits being humble and nice to fans, paying their student loans or surprising them with personalized gifts mainly serves her interests. But aren't we all used to it? Is not late-stage capitalism all about utilizing morally accepted narratives for commercial purposes? I have this dream my daughter-in-law kills me for the money. She thinks I left them in the will. This line and the scene it is represented within the music video, by the way directed by Taylor herself, perfectly depicts the anxiety caused by capitalism's competitive nature. No matter how much you achieve in terms of physical possessions, it's hard to be happy. Because money and fame brings paranoia, that even the closest of people will take advantage of you. And right there you can feel the self-pity, doubting that anyone can love Swift for her personality, for who she is and not what she has achieved. But who is she? Taylor not only doubts she is a good person, but questions whether she has a solid personality at all. In 2020, Taylor personified herself as a mirror ball, putting forth the idea that she has no real identity and can change everything about herself to fit in and conform to what everyone expects of her. If this is the case, looking in the mirror would be confusing. Who would you see? Maybe that's why she prefers looking at the sun instead. Although Swift's depiction of herself doesn't necessarily paint her as a villain, it suggests that she understands why the people supporting her might be sick of doing so when she consistently makes the wrong choices. Swift also reflects on her own shortcomings on 2019's The Archer, on which she shows to know that heroes, such as herself, don't always secure a happy ending. And all of my heroes die all alone. I don't know about the ending, but so far Taylor Swift has secured her name as one of our favorite anti-heroines.